Hello, YouTube. This is Keith Kevin Kent. How you doing? How you doing? I hope you're doing well. Time again for the knife of the day, and today we just have a classic. I thought I had done this. Nowadays, I go over my playlist before I pick the knife of the day, and I realized I hadn't done this. I did the modern version of this knife, but not the original. The knife of the day is where I go through my entire collection, one knife at a time, one day at a time. And we're going to go through all four Pelican cases. Oh, they're jam full. About 400 knives, I would say. Also the fixed blades as well. We started with Spydercos and we're continuing through the Spyderco collection. I figure probably close to a year we'll get through the entire collection. I am dedicated to go through this entire collection on video because I just want to make a record of my collection. The knife of the day is the Frank Centofante. Yeah, Hall of Famer, one of Spyderco's first collaborators, the custom knife maker Frank Centofante. He has done everything for the knife industry. He passed away several years ago. In fact, Sal Glesser, the founder of Spyderco, I think did just a wonderful tribute to him with this knife, the Centofante memory, in memory of Frank Centofante. We'll talk a little bit about this knife because after I show you the original Centofante that I have in my hands, you'll start to understand the memory a lot more. I did a video on the memory on this series. It's in the Knife of the Day playlist. Go check it out. But let's talk about the Frank Centofante, the original Frank Centofante. What a wonderful knife. What I want to do, let's start with the blade first, and then we'll end on the handle. This blade is ATS 34 steel, earlier steel, full flat ground. It seems like it's a straight edge on the bottom, but it really has a slight curve that helps with the cutting actually. It's just under, slightly under 3 inches. Slightly under 3 inches in length. The total length of this knife, 7 inches, just under 7 inches. And the weight, it's a very light 2.5 ounces. You know, when this came out, the advertising, the original advertising from Spyderco and everything was that it's the perfect gentleman's folder, but also, I'll paraphrase, a great EDC knife as well. Something that you could really use, but looks purty too. Just a real nice knife. Now, this is Frank Centofante called this style of knife, his style of blade, an extreme drop point. An extreme drop point. That's his words, his definition of the blade. Now remember, this is an older knife. Oh man, I almost shake when I handle these. This is a collectible knife in very good conditions. I was lucky enough to get it in good condition. Let's talk about the handle. The handle actually is pretty unique. You know, when I pick this up, every time I go, what is this made of? It's an aluminum. Man, I wish I had Feel-O-Vision so you could feel this. It's an aluminum handle that's vapor blasted, bead blasted. So it has this texture on it. So this really heavy bead blasting of this aluminum gives it some grippiness and just this kind of interesting feel. Not China, of course not. It's a knife and it's rugged and it's aluminum, but it gives this wonderful, unique feel to it. And then they put an inlay of rubber right here. Spyderco did that a couple of times as well on the original Civilian and a couple of other knives. Now, Sal Glesser is quoted as saying he had the rubber on the Civilian because the Civilian was a real tactical knife. A real tactical knife. And so, you know, it helped you to keep your grip while there was blood on the handle. So this really does give you a lot of grip along with this special bead blasting. Look at the back spacer. Instead of just a regular back spacer, it's a scalloped back spacer. And then on the back, they have a bead blasted clip, one of the early clips. And you'll see this a lot with Spyderco on the older knives. They have, for instance, an inlay on the show side or some kind of pattern. Even I have earlier versions of the, I just blinked on the crickets. And you'll even see FRN scales and on the back smooth. And that's because they didn't want it to catch on your pants, right? Interfere with the clip. This has a liner lock. Just a real nice knife and a classic piece. Now, I have a full look at the Spyderco memory, Centofante memory that Sal Glesser put together. And the folks at Spyderco. Now, when you see them together, it's not an extreme drop point, but you start to see they modernize the original. Wonderful pivot. It's anodized. By the way, this is anodized, this color too, on the aluminum. Here, they did anodization. I love that blue. Isn't that beautiful blue? It's all titanium on the new knife. Instead of the rubber, yeah, glass fibers in a twill pattern. Look, the scallop back spacer. And even on today's knife, same position for the clip. Instead of going that 4-way clip that is so popular, they wanted to keep it the same, and I love that they kept the back smooth. I just needed to bring that up because the memory to me is a fantastic knife. It's beautiful. It's classic gentleman's folder by far. But when you see it, I want you to understand why it's called the memory. It's in Frank Centofante's memory and where they got the styling from. That, my friends, is a very special knife of the day. I'll put it up against the Delica and the Native to give you a feel for the size. That is the Frank Centofante, the original, by the great knife maker Frank Centofante and one of Spyderco's earlier collaborators. That's it. If you enjoy this series of knives as we go through one blade at a time, one day at a time through my entire collection, thumb it up. Let me know that you love it. Show me some love with the likes. Share it. We have just begun, even though we're well over 120 knives in. There's a lot of other knives to come. Chris Reeve knives, Striders, Hinderers, case knives, grouse blades, some customs. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on your notifications so you don't miss any of the videos. Thank you very much, you guys. Hey, take good care of yourselves. Have a good one. Keep those pockets full. Goodbye.